And the Rockies have bashed their way to a record-setting start, while the Atlanta Braves have gotten off to an impressive beginning as well. In Atlanta, the brothers Upton have been united, and it's paying plenty of early dividends. BJ has come north from Tampa, while baby brother Justin has moved east. Justin, in particular, has fitted quite nicely in his new uniform, bashing a Major League best 9 home runs. At 13-5, the Rockies and Braves share the best mark in the game. Today, amid frigid temperatures, Colorado looks to turn up the heat on Atlanta. A doubleheader is next. Well, as I recall, January wasn't this snowy, it wasn't this cold. Once again, owner Dick Monfort and a number of his employees out on the field very early this morning shoveling snow. The good news is the field looks pristine once again. It will be frigid today, but we will play baseball. In fact, the Rockies and Atlanta Braves will play too. A day-night doubleheader, second time in a week because of weather. The Rockies will have to play a double dip. Welcome, everybody. Along with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. I hope you're bundled up in front of the fire at home. We wish we could make a little campfire right here. It is
we're
frigid.
going to.
You know what? It's 23 degrees last time I looked at the thermometer. It's never been this cold for a ball game here.
No, it hasn't been. And I think the one thing you deal with now, obviously getting jam shots off your hands, it'll have a big effect on your thumbs. And for a pitcher, for the grip on a baseball, it's going to be important that you keep the heating packs in the back pocket to keep your hand warm in between pitches. A lot of blowing. Keep that thing warmed up in between.
Well, in the early going of the Major League season that is 2013, this is a much anticipated series because the Rockies and the Atlanta Braves are off to the best start in the game at 13-5. Both have prolific offenses. Now, the Braves not hitting George much for average, but they can hit it over the wall like the Rockies.
They sure can. 29 home runs. You see that number with the Rockies with 28, a much better average. But their pitching staff, their bullpen has done a good job of containing the opposition. But Justin Upton, who came over here, to play with his brother, and it's a great move that they put together on this, but he's hit everything from low to high to middle to out, and he's hit it out of the ballpark on a consistent basis, and he's done damage in his career versus the Rockies in 80 games, being with the Arizona Diamondbacks, 15 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a 280 average. A welcome sight in Atlanta for them. And I think that's one thing they were hoping to get from him when they made the trade, and obviously they've gotten it.
Let's not forget, this is one of the most talented young players in the game.
Young.
He's been around for a while, but he got here very quickly. George, he's comfortable.
He's very comfortable, and I think playing with your brother would obviously make you that way. And to be on a club, too, leaving Arizona, who was a winning organization, coming to the Atlanta Braves that expects to win every single year, that these two guys have felt, hey, we're going to lead this big train. We're going to try to win this thing.
Well, for Atlanta, it still begins with pitching. We'll talk about the Rockies pitching and the Braves pitching when we return. The first of two this afternoon on a cold, blustery day at Coors Field. 13-5, a doubleheader today, a day game tomorrow if all the weather stays just as it is. The Rockies and Atlanta Braves. Last year was all Atlanta. They won 6 of 7 against Colorado. Back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Jeff Francis has the baseball, as you saw initially today, against Mike Minor, who's been terrific.
He has been terrific. Just one walk all year long for Minor, and I think that's going to be the key for Jeff Francis and Minor both. Obviously control the strike zone, but if you look at the overall pitching here, the Colorado starters with 10 wins, an earned run average of 375, and let's carry that a little bit farther, an earned run average at home, outstanding for the Colorado Rockies. The Atlanta Braves, an earned run average out of their bullpen at 1.22. We all know about Kimbrell. We all know about Flaherty. They're missing Venters, but they also have complemented it with other people. And, of course, the Rockies turn to Rafael Betancourt. He and Kimbrell right now save leaders with 7 each.
The interesting thing about Mike Minor, he went to school with David Price at Vanderbilt, both left-handers. That was pretty good staff.
Both left-handers, both first-round draft picks. Let me be on that ball club for a while. Minor doesn't realize it's 21 or 22 degrees outside. He's going sleeveless today. Jeff Francis, I asked him the other day, what's it like to pitch in the cold? He goes, once you get going, you really don't feel it.
Well, he's from Vancouver. He knows a little something
but I don't know
about the
that
cold.
now.
It is really cold. Penguins like a day like today. Baseball players are going to have to like it as well. 1st and 2, we're going to have a lot of fun with you today. The Rockies and Braves, come on back to Coors Field with us. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online, only at southwest.com. Snow removal, again, the order of the day at Coors Field. Rockies were up and out early, removing snow. Most employees were out there, including the owner, Dick Montford. Jeff Francis taking the hill. Andrelton Simmons will lead things off. Andrelton Simmons, fine fielding shortstop, comes in hitting .211. Freddie Gonzalez will feature this Southwest batting order today. B.J. Upton will bat second. His little brother Justin will bat third. Freddie Freeman, just off the disabled list, has been a Rockies killer, as I'm sure you're aware. Chris Johnson's leading baseball in hitting right now. Evan Gattis has been a good story. He's hit 5 home runs. Strong second baseman Dan Uggla. Reed Johnson, veteran outfielder, and the left-hander Mike Minor. As we take a look at the Farmers Insurance game plan. Frazier, what do you have?
Well, throw strike one. I think that's the key for Jeff Francis. Even though the opposition is hitting a decent average at 269. It's a little different at 1-0 though. The last couple of starts, the earned run average jumped up over 6 2/3. So throwing strike one, changing speeds, try to induce the ground ball out, which this year he's done nearly 62% of the time.
And this is in the air down the right field line, out of play. It's quickly a 2-strike count. George, you're talking about a very proud man on the hill in Jeff Francis. Last couple of games have not gone, as you said, the way Jeff Francis anticipates most of his outings to go. This club he's facing is a big swing club. They hit a lot of home runs. They punch out a lot also.
They also strike out a tremendous amount of time, and that's where Jeff should be able to utilize. Hopefully, Willeen will make the play on this first out here in the first inning. The one hole had hit 700 against Jeff to start of this year, so good to get that first one out of the way. Let's take a look at what Jeff likes to use in the ball game when attacking the opposition. Fastball, you'll see that about 50% of the time, a little bit above, more curveball changeup mix, and it's important for him to throw strikes and be down in the strike zone with all of his pitches. And I think the key here is a lot of hitters are going to fight off the ball on their hands. It's going to hurt, and off the end of the bat. So stay on the corners.
And quickly a 2-strike count on B.J. Upton. 28-year-old Upton comes from Tampa, where he became a star. They both homered in Thursday night's game, the lone victory against the Pirates for Atlanta. They've lost 3 in a row. At one point, they were 12-1 this year. Just missed painting on the outside corner.
Just fastball, 86-88 so far in this game with some tail and sink.
There's the manager for the Atlanta Braves, Freddie Gonzalez. Once Bobby Cox hung it up, it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Freddie, even though he was down in Florida, was going to be the heir apparent.
Well, he got fired in Florida, and he was like, okay, I'll take 3 months off, and I'll manage the Braves next year. Had a pretty good move.
Here's the 2-2, and it's chopped foul.
Their ball club, you mentioned the Atlanta Braves, the ability to strike out an awful lot. Well, they've done it with runners in scoring position more times than not. The last 5 innings, last 5 ball games, 3 for 24 with runners in scoring position.
2-2 on B.J. Upton. And a ground ball to third. Chris Nelson across to Jordan Pacheco. Good throw. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Justin Upton. Well, the Rockies have broken a record today. The game time temperature is 25 degrees, so the thermometer in the ballpark says 23. Either way, by 3 or 5 degrees, they've broken the all-time record for coldest ball game at first pitch. There's a 23 degrees in-house. The previous record was 28 twice, once last week.
And by the way, a tip of the cap to the fans that have come out and fought this weather today to show up here in the ballpark. A lot of it's still roped off. This crew continues to clean here in the ballpark, you know, and that makes it pretty difficult, but get you something good and warm to eat, put on a heavy jacket, and watch a little baseball. Good for you.
Top foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, you know, the other day I mentioned on air, you got any old hats at home that you want to get rid of, Drew and I'll take them. Send them to the house. We'll wear whatever you got.
I see how you've done this. Now you're including me.
Yeah, I threw you under the bus with me. Yeah, I love hats. Send them in.
Here's the pitch to Justin, and it's 1-2 now. He's a Braves fan. Braves fans always travel well. They're everywhere in the country. Especially a winning baseball the last couple of decades. Outside.
Now down the lines, down the left field line, they have yellow tape put up. So fans that actually were going to sit beyond that area down into the corners, they didn't have the time to get that cleaned up. So when you thought you were going to have a seat down the corner, all of a sudden you got a seat behind the dugout.
And it just missed upstairs. 3-2. You always, George, as a pitcher, you want to get in and out and off the field as quickly as you can. Today it's of paramount importance because those fielders sitting out there in 25-degree temperatures, not good. And this ball is hit deep to center field. Dexter going back, and this is going to sail on out of here. Justin Upton has done it again. His 10th home run, which leads the big leagues, and it's 1-0 Atlanta.
He fouled off enough pitches till they finally got something that he could do something with it. Trying to come high on the fastball in. did not get accomplished what Jeff wanted to, and then came back here with the changeup. You see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Watch the pitch. You're wanting that pitch farther to the outside, but yet that's down in the strike zone. Upton just got his weight back, stayed on this changeup all the way out of the hand of Jeff Francis. Sometimes you tip your hat to the opposition. More to look at the flight of this long ball.
Freddie Freeman at the plate with a 1-1 count. That's his 16th career home run for Upton against the Rockies. Pitch is outside. 2-1.
If Jeff can get through this first time through the lineup and hold the opposition down, he gets pretty successful after that. This ball's a high drive to right, but it's going to stay in the yard.
Yeah, it will. It's going to land shy of the track in Michael Kadyr's glove. So a 2-out home run from Justin Upton, and the Braves have a 1-0 advantage early. The ones on the left work fine. The guy with the cell phone on, that's old school, that'll work. The sombrero, I mean, it's a great outfit, but where's your ear coverage?
Trouble is, the head comes down, it's going to be tough to watch the game, but I get staying warm.
It's all about warmth today. Dexter Fowler's going to lead things off for the Rockies, down 1-0. He's taking on his hometown team. Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss for the 13-5 Rockies. Josh Rutledge will bat second. Carlos Gonzalez, a .324 career stick against the Braves. Then Tulowitzki, Michael Kadir, Willeen Rosario, Jordan Pacheco hitting .310. Chris Nelson and Jeff Francis against Michael Minor. And the first pitch is fouled off. Minor is 2-1, but he has an .095 ERA.
Pretty good numbers. So obviously the one walk's what jumps out to me. I mean, he's had one walk this year in 19 innings. He struck out 16. Left-handers are 1 for 15 against him. And he's yet to give up a base hit to the 3-hole in the order. That's pretty impressive.
And Dex rolls one to third. Chris Johnson's got it, 1 out. The Braves defense brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. B.J. Upton is flanked by his brother Justin, who played right field in Arizona. He's now a left fielder. The veteran Reed Johnson is in right. Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, Dan Uggla, Freddie Freeman, Evan Gattis behind the plate.
Now, Simmons is an interesting guy. I mean, he played shortstop and pitcher in junior college, Western Junior College in Oklahoma. 97 on the mound.
This ball is in the air to right center field, pretty well struck by Rutledge, but Reed Johnson gets over there and makes the catch. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. Carlos had a big homestand. In fact, last week he hit .417, a home run. He drove in 6. He was nominated for National League Player of the Week. It was an honor that was awarded yesterday to Carlos Gomez of the Milwaukee Brewers. This year, lefties are 1 for 15 against Mike Minor.
Yeah, more importantly, I mentioned just a minute ago, too, the 3 holes yet to get a hit against him. Managing those RBI spots, you know, in ball games, not allowing him to do a lot of damage.
About Cargo's numbers against lefties, he's 9 for 18, 500 average.
Doesn't matter who's on the mound with him.
Nope.
Right, left, hard, soft, doesn't matter. Does such a great job getting his load, preparing, and staying there. And Freddie Gonzalez realizing this lineup the Rockies have now as potent as what he's throwing out.
And Cargo hits it in the air to left field, and Justin Upton has it, and Mike Minor has a 1-2-3 first inning. Justin Upton a home run. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Fans, we want to talk to you. Ask us questions. We'll answer them during Toyota Talk in the 5th inning. First-time texters are automatic winners and will receive 1-day free pass to the Denver Zoo, courtesy of your neighborhood Toyota stores. Text Toyota followed by your question to 720-720. And again, we'll get to those, as many as we can, in the 5th inning. Toyota Talk. Chris Johnson at .407, leading all of baseball in hitting. Now think about the trade that the Braves pulled off. Frank Wren, their general manager in the offseason. Justin Upton, the big name coming from Arizona. What most people didn't pay attention to is a pretty fair third baseman came along as well in Chris Johnson, the one-time Houston Astro. And between the two of them, George, they're tearing up the joint.
They are tearing it up. They're catching the baseball. That's the thing. They really solidified the left side of this infield.
And he's got himself another hit. So a lead single for the leading hitter in baseball here in the 2nd inning, and that'll bring up Evan Gattis. When you started to tell his story, George.
That's pretty remarkable. I mean, talking about a guy that spent time in the back of a truck, gave up on baseball, wouldn't start all the time, so he had to always park on a hill so he could get it running when he went off. Got jumped in it in the mornings. I mean, it's he got involved in a lot of things you don't want to be involved in.
At one point, he was a ski lift operator out in the High Sierras in California.
The other thing, at Seminole Junior College, said, hey, I want to try to play a little bit more. Went on. Lo and behold, here he is. I mean, they said, talking to Joe Simpson next door, said it's like Paul Bunyan at the plate. Big, strong guy that just swings really hard.
Well, it's worked out for a lot of guys. Last year, between Lynchburg in High A and Mississippi in Double A, he had .305 with 18 home runs. He's already got 5 this year. Foul ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Barry's calling balls and strikes. Lance Barrett, who we just saw recently, is at first base. Mike Everett is the crew chief. Mike's at second. Marty Foster's at third. One and two. There is a potential, George, for a short leash today with Jeff Francis, you know, regardless of how well he's performing, because one of the possibilities now with having to reconfigure your rotation is that he would come back on 3 days rest. See how it plays out. He strikes out Gaddis. 1 out here in the second. Rockies defense brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so that you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Cargo, Dexter, and Kadai are in the outfield. Nelson, Tulowitzki, Rutledge, and Pacheco left to right. And behind the plate in game 1 is Willeen Rosario. Update on Todd Helton. He was going to take a little batting practice and see how that forearm felt. That was earlier this morning. Walt Weiss, he was going to lobby Walt to play in game 2. That's a strike. And Walt, in his meeting with the media a couple of hours ago, said not a real good chance of him winning that lobbying effort.
Todd's really swung about well of late. 9 for 21, I believe. Driving in runs, doing some different things. So, I mean, when you start to swing the bat like that, you want to get back out there again.
But it does not look like it's going to happen today.
Well, it is 21 degrees.
Two and one on Popeye, Dan Uggla. He'd be in the conversation for biggest forearms in baseball.
Reminds me a little bit of Steve Garvey, Ron Say. He used to play for the Dodgers. Used to call them Popeye with their great big forearms. He generates some bat speed. There's no question about it. It's just unfortunate a lot of times that bat misses the baseball.
Just off the corner, it's 3-1.
It was just off the corner. According to that, it should be 2-2.
This is hammered straight away, and it's going to get on out of here. 2-run home run from Uggla, virtually the same spot that Upton went deep last inning. And this is what the Braves have done this year. That is their 31st home run of the season. It leads Major League Baseball, and they now lead the Rockies 3-0. And Jeff Francis's issues, George, continue.
They do continue. That first time through the lineup, mentioned they'd hit near 700 against Jeff. So trying to change something in that respect. And let's see where this pitch is. See, once again, these guys are good low ball hitters. Maybe a little bit too much of the plate, but you saw where Willeen was going to catch that ball below the shin guards. Uggla's one of those guys that has struggled with his average. It was 161, but he's continued to hit the long ball. He went down and got that ball, drove that back leg on it. Just to tell you kind of what this young man has done in the last few years as a second baseman, more home runs than any other second baseman. So you see this among active players, 213 in his career. Chase Utley. Robinson Cano will take that over in my eyes.
Yeah, Robbie Cano already has 6 this year. And you talk about all-time home runs by guys who primarily played second. Jeff Kent is number 1 with 377. Rogers Hornsby hit 301. Biggio played other places, but a lot of second base, hit 291. Sandberg, Hall of Famer, hit 282. This is slowly hit to Rutledge and didn't get it.
Yeah, pulled his foot off on the throw.
Reed Johnson, an infield hit. Joe Morgan, if you're wondering, hit 268.
How many Kent hit?
Kent hit 377.
It's an awful lot of doubles, too. You see Rutledge come in. That ball looked like it took a funny hop right on that last second. He was coming on a straight charge, then has to backhand the ball, the snap throw to Pacheco, and the throw took Pacheco offline.
So Mike Minor looking to bunt is at the plate. And gets it down perfectly. That'll bring up Drelton Simmons.
His average isn't much. One thing you got to watch with him is he's quick. He gets a slow roller on the ground. He's got some speed up the base path. I mentioned earlier, their ball club has not swung the bat well. In 117 at bats with runners in scoring positions, they've struck out 39 times.
What they've done is
3 for 25 in their last 5 games.
Yeah, what they've done is what they've done here. They've hit the ball over the fence. And more than anything, and Freddie Gonzalez had a great line about this. After losing their 3rd straight game in Pittsburgh and scoring just 9 runs in the 4-game series, or actually in the previous 5 games, 4 of which were losses. You know, Freddie was asked about the offense, and he said, "I'm not concerned about the offense." He said, "Now, if it was the other way around, we were 13-5, and it was all because of the offense and the pitching wasn't very good, and we were just winning games 9-8. He said, I know that would turn around, but they have produced arguably the best pitching in all of baseball so far this year. This has popped up." He said, "I'd take that every time. Somebody's got a call. Now it'll be Pacheco." So Jordan makes a catch, but more damage. A single by Johnson, and then a 2-run home run straight away by Uglas. 3-0 Braves. Presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. Troy Tulowitzki's been producing a lot of big hits. He's got 6 home runs, 3 on the homestand. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Troy will lead it off here in the 2nd inning. The Rockies got to play catch-up against a guy that hasn't given up a lot of runs, Mike Minor. He has the .095 ERA.
3rd in the National League behind Detweiler and, that guy in New York, Harvey. Pretty good.
He had a 1-2-3 first, and he pours the fastball over at 89.
No, BJ,
on Troy.
The opposition's been playing Tulowitzki in center field a little bit farther into the right center field gap, about 10-12 feet. Upton's playing him straight away. And a lot of times as a hitter, we've heard us mention this, you'll kind of see where a center fielder's playing. They'll try to pitch you that way.
1-2.
Left side of the infield pulled a little bit for that fastball or cut fastball to the inner half. Off-speed pitch.
Tulo stuck around last year for just 47 games, April and most of May. And he did not hit his 6th home run until May 23rd last year. This year he's got 6 on April the 23rd. George, I just saw something I've never seen before. Foul ball straight back off the screen, and it splattered a bunch of snow like somebody had thrown an enormous snowball at the screen.
Huh.
Two. Temperature holding out there in deep left center field on the scoreboard at 23 degrees.
Go, Troy. Come on, baby. You own this guy. Come on, Mike. Come on. Good eye, Ben. Take the walk.
Miners from Chapel Hill, Tennessee, works out in the offseason at times with Rex Brothers. Full count on Tulowitzki. One of the ways to stay warm is get real close to the guy next to you out in that bullpen.
Come on, Troy. You got this guy.
Go right back over here into this corner. You're going to see what? Oh, yeah, there they are right there. Those propane tanks, they got some big heaters working down there in that bullpen. I tell you, Wilton Lopez is hugging the heater.
High ball 4, and just the second walk allowed this year by Mike Miner. So a leadoff walk to Tulowitzki. That'll bring up Kadire. It will also lead us to our sideline report, brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood. And here now is Mark Stout. Mark?
Well, Drew, George, conspicuous with his absence from the Braves roster because he retired, is Chipper Jones. You see the number 10 there. And I asked Dexter Fowler, Georgia native, if it would be weird not having that number 10 on Atlanta this year.
It's gonna be crazy going to third base and not being able to talk to him. Like, hey, what's up, Chip? Like, that's crazy in itself. You know, ever since we were growing up, we'd see him at playing third base in the lineup, and it will definitely be missed.
But not surprisingly, there are a number of Chipper Jones jerseys out here. Of the few people that are here, guys.
He remains a very, very popular player. Chris Johnson playing there right now. The Yankees tried to, with all their injuries, particularly at third base, tried to get him to come back for another season. He said, I'm going to go play bad golf. 2 strikes on Kadire. No swing, 1-2. I had a conversation with Dexter as well about Chipper. And, it's a guy, if you grew up as Dex did, in Georgia, I mean, he had to be one of the guys, and Dex is a switch hitter now, that you just modeled yourself after. In fact, Dex's folks live very close to Chipper.
Good eye, baby. Lay off that high
Well, what you compared there in Atlanta for all those number of years was Chipper Jones with the bat, and then, of course, Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz if you were a pitcher.
Hey, listen, I'm not looking for. Hey, who is that? Who is that?
Pretty good 4 guys to model your game after.
Absolutely. When was the last time, George, we or anybody else who followed this game closely said, well, in assessing the Braves, they look like they're going to be a little short on the mound?
1978.
Well, it probably wasn't quite that far back, but it was certainly before 1990.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, they've started, I mentioned this the other day, the pitching coach in Rome, Georgia retired 2 years ago after being there 19 years in their low A. You know, their guys stick around. They take very good care of them financially. They stick around to help the progress of these guys as they come through that minor league.
That's scorched left center field. B.J. Upton was pulled over to right center. See if Kadire can get to second, and he will. A double by Michael Kadire. Stopping at third is Tulowitzki. And the Rockies, with nobody out, have a little something cooking here in the second, down by 3 runs.
They do, absolutely. Kadire now 3 for 3 after this double against Minor, after the walk to Tulowitzki, and a good at bat too. Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo, that cutter coming right to the middle of the plate. Kadire staying right on top of it. Drove it right back up the middle. Remember, with all this snow and you have the heat on the grass right now, there's still a little moisture on that outfield grass. So when you get some backspin and it kicks, it could really skip even farther and quicker. Kadire's hustle kept the double play gone. You know, you got second, third, and the opportunity to get 2 with a knock.
Well, Rosario's 1 for 3 against Minor. That one was a big fly on the inside corner. Rosario 2 for 7 in the early going against left-handed pitching. And softly hit to second with the bobble. Tulowitzki's going to come home as Ugla couldn't pick it up cleanly. Troy had to make sure also that that wasn't caught in the air. So Rosario out 4-3, but the Rockies get a run, and it's 3-1.
Hit the ball hard opposite field on a 1-1 count. Tulowitzki's just looking, watching, and when he bobbled the baseball, play's not going to be at the plate. It's going to be at first. He just hustled his way home.
Here's Pacheco. Jordan's been swinging the bat well. RBI out there for Jordan. Did so well a year ago with runners in scoring position. Pacheco 6 for 12 on the homestand. In fact, in each of his last couple of starts, he's produced multi-hit games. 5 for 9 his last 2 starts. 1-1. You know, everything, George, is a mindset in life, and I'm sure you played some games in your big league career, your minor league career in adverse conditions, and it just becomes mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter, right?
That's exactly right.
Fouled out of play.
You know, that's whenever I read and see things, some guy goes, oh man, it was a horrible game to pitch in, horrible. There's snow and the winds was blowing, it was freezing. Oh yeah, what was the score? We got beat 15-1. Well, that other team played in it pretty good. They really didn't know what was going on. They played right through all this. I like your beanie cap again, by the way.
It's going to stay on. Get used to it. 1-2 on Jordan. And back up the middle, base hit. Kadire around third. He will score easily. And Jordan Pacheco comes through again. And it's now a 3-2 ball game.
3 for 9 now with runners in scoring position. Jordan Pacheco not trying to do too much, just taking what they give you. Thinking everything right back up the middle. People, you know, you watch Jordan swing the bat. It's a very compact, quick swing to the plate when he brings that bat through, and it's amazing how he finds holes, but he finds a lot of them. This one right by Minor, back up the middle. Kadir scores.
Chris Nelson at the plate. 269 average, no home runs, 4 driven in.
The Rockies second in the National League right now at 320 with runners in scoring position. St. Louis leads it.
Another Georgia kid, Chris Nelson. I asked Dex before the game, I said, how many of the Braves do you know? He said all of them. And I'm sure it's the same for Nelson. And, you know, a lot of the Braves in the offseason stay in Georgia. So a lot of these guys work out together.
Yeah, if not over at the stadium, they'll go over to Georgia Tech and work out.
A number of facilities. In fact, Brian McCann has a facility. Chipper Jones has a facility. Brian McCann still on the disabled list. Whoa, look out. That flying into the stands. Unfortunately, because of the cold weather, it was just 4 rows up. It hit an empty seat. Everybody's okay. Nelson's gone. We need to pass along our best wishes to Jason Hayward, the outstanding young player for the Atlanta Braves. Last night, George, or yesterday, not feeling well, and he had to undergo an emergency appendectomy yesterday at Rose Hospital. He's been placed on the disabled list.
Well, one thing about an appendix, and mine's not with me anymore, you kind of feel like you have a stomach virus until the pain kind of localizes. And he was feeling some discomfort over in Pittsburgh, and they thought, well, maybe it's stomach virus, whatever. And then yesterday it localized before he was getting ready to go out to dinner. They had their team doctor. One of the team doctors was on the trip with him. And he said, you know what? We're going to the hospital. Within 3 hours, he was out of recovery and didn't have an appendix. Good thing he was with him.
So Tyler Pasternicki, who's been up before, was brought to the big leagues. 1 and 2 on Francis. Dexter Fowler's good friends with Hayward. They hit in the offseason, and he called him last night. He said, you know, I think he was still pretty drugged up in the hospital, but he was feeling a little bit better. A strikeout of Francis, but a very good inning for the Rockies. They get after Mike Minor, and they narrow the gap to a 1-run ball game. Walk to Tulowitzki, Kadir a double, Rosario an RBI ground out, and then Jordan Pacheco with a clean single up the middle. 3-2 Atlanta. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Mustang. All legend, zero compromise. Ford Mustang. Go further. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Top of the third inning. The Braves 3 and the Rockies 2.
Dude, what are you doing? Is that Eddie Perez? I think it was. I think it is. Their bullpen coach.
This is a first for a game as this ball's lined toward Kadire. And B.J. Upton is the first out on the first pitch. This is the first time when you look out in center field at the batter's eye and the beautiful evergreens out there, that there's actually snow on them. It looks like a mountain scene.
And they were out shaking them. They're trying to still get the snow out of here. They're putting in those yellow trash cans, hauling them down to the edge and dumping them over into piles, trying to get it all cleaned up. Tomorrow's supposed to be a decent day, though.
That will help. Here's Justin Upton, a solo home run to center his first time. Off-speed pitch misses for Justin, his 10th home run of the year. What a difference the new surroundings make. Justin Upton hit his 10th home run last year on August 25th.
Yeah, you know, for whatever reason, and you can see he's leading Major League Baseball, Dexter right behind him, but for whatever reason, I don't know, he just maybe didn't feel appreciated in Arizona. You know, but I don't know what it was, but he's got a new leash on life right now.
1-2. He's really enjoying us chatting with him earlier. He's really enjoying playing with his brother, and he's a good kid. He's always got a big smile on his face.
That's where you go, hey, big brother.
Gifted.
Big brother, you bought the big house with the big contract. I'm living with you.
Well, the neat thing is, Justin was saying that mom and dad, who live in Southern Virginia,
right,
grew up. Justin and Kadire and Wright, Zimmerman, all those guys grew up together. That is a foul ball. I said, Mom and Dad, he goes, they're in town all the time. He goes, they jump on a plane. It's less than an hour away into Atlanta.
Perfect. Yeah, you bet. And why not? Go watch your brother. Go watch your two boys play. That's pretty neat. But it's been there before.
Well, the Braves have a history of it, George. Joe and Frank Torrey played together, the Negro brothers, for a couple of seasons, and Hank and Tommy Aaron played together for almost a decade. Swung on and missed. Jeff Francis wins this battle with Justin Upton. Well, Sue Upton's retired, and that'll bring up Freddie Freeman.
Talked about first time through, nearly 420 average against Jeff. Second time through, 249. So Mike Shaw Subaru, very good changeup down and away.
Freddie Freeman just missed hitting one out his first time up. He got underneath one, and Kadire on the edge of the track made the catch. Freeman activated yesterday. He'd been on the DL with an oblique injury. He has absolutely killed the Rockies. 351 in his career, 8 home runs, 18 RBIs in 15 games. And here at Coors Field, it's even uglier. 7 games at Coors Field. He's hit .406 with 4 home runs. It's 3-1. This is where you're in a dangerous area. Ball 4. This is the first lineup, George, that the Rockies have played against, that you look and you see what other teams probably are looking at when they look at the Rockies, where there's no breathing room. I mean, Freeman's on first with 2 outs. Now you have Chris Johnson, who has pop, and he's leading the league in hitting. Evan Gaddis, not a well-known guy, but behind him, he has the ability to leave the yard. He's a big, strong guy, 6'4" and about 240. Then, of course, Ugla. We know the damage he's done. He's batting 7th.
So it's a dangerous lineup, but you got to make pitches. Even though some of them, at this point, average is not what you think it's going to be. It'll equal out by the end of the year. Hey, tickets going very quickly for the Rockies and Yankees. Yeah, that's coming up to May 7th through the 9th, so get yours today and root on the Rockies as they take the Yankees on here May 7th through the 9th, 303 Rockies or Rockies.com to pick up some tickets.
A 1 on Johnson, who singled his first time. That's outside 1-1.
That's a blue sky. We haven't seen that for a couple of days. Partial blue.
Hasn't raised the temperature at all. It's still 23. Good pitch. The Braves this year, there's the blue skies. Braves this year are 13-0 when they hit a home run. They've hit 2 today. They're 0-5 when they don't homer in a game. Rockies will try to hand them that first loss. That kicks away. And moving up to second. Well, that was strike 3, excuse me. That was interesting because Chris Johnson never moved to first. Good inning for Francis. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Dex against Mike Minor. Evan Gaddis wanted to throw a baseball back, didn't have it in his gloves, just reach behind. Umpire will take care of you. And there's a base hit for Dexter. And it was misread by Johnson. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Dexter turning up the gas. He's going to have 3 bags here. And the tying run at 3rd base, a leadoff triple for Fowler.
Yeah, you're sitting there at the top of the order now. You're going to deal with it all, man. I mean, you've got some power coming out. You had Rutledge, Gonzalez, and Tulowitzki with nobody out and a runner at 3rd. To Mike Shaw Subaru. Good look at this pitch coming in, trying to cut it on the hands of Dexter. Dexter just took it to the opposite field. Almost looked like it backed up on him. Well, he hit this into right field. He got on top of it. A little bit of backspin. You're right. Johnson came on an angle as if he thought he could cut that ball off, but he had to retreat to the wall to get it.
Josh Rutledge. Ball one. George, that's the first triple of the year for Dexter. He had 15 last year. Also, a couple of notes about that hit. He was just 1 for 15 against left-handed pitching prior to that triple, and he had been 1 for his previous 16 overall prior to the triple. This is going to get the run home, may get Rutledge an infield hit. It will. Josh Rutledge hit it off the end of the bat to Ugla, and the way Rutledge runs, you had no chance, and we're tied at 3.
Well, not your typical way to look at base hit RBI when it only goes about 55 feet, but when you have speed, it really makes the big difference. And that's what Rutledge has. This ball right off the fist. Rutledge very alertly took off when he saw that ball get by Minor and then just beat the throw.
Good read by Dex. It has to clear the mound. That's what he's looking for. And once it cleared Minor, he knew he could go. So the Rockies down 3-0 after an inning and a half have tied up the Braves and Mike Minor. Here's Cargo. And that's yanked down the line. Stay fair. It's just foul. Wow, I thought that was on the line. First base umpire Lance Barrett wheeled around and indicated foul ball. If it was foul, it was foul by inches.
The width of a baseball at most. You'll see this ball come right at you at the house. It's going to be very, very close. But you can see he's got an eyeball on it. You know, nothing flew up, so, you know, it's not going to at the painted lines the way they used to be. You know, it used to be a whole separate type of thing. You know, you used to have a lot of chalk down there, so you might have flown a little chalk up on that one.
Nobody out, speed at first in Rutledge. 3-3 ball game, bottom of 3. Cargo line to left center field his first time up.
Cargo, come on, baby.
And again, there's heating coils underneath the outfield. You can see the steam coming off the field.
So at least your feet are going to be warm, right?
Well, I know most of the players are wearing tights underneath, full extra layer. The trouble is, especially for pitchers, but a lot of guys don't like to wear a sleeve on their throwing arm. And again, most pitchers don't like it. You look at Minor. I mean, he has the short sleeves. They just feel uncomfortable throwing the baseball with a sleeve on. The pitcher's constantly moving, but if you're a position player, it'd be hard to do that today. 2-2. No swing, 3-2. Mike Minor came into the ball game with an 0.95 ERA. Rockies have gotten 3 off of him. Nobody out in the third. Runner going, swung on and missed, and the throw is not going to get Rutledge. And Rutledge has his 5th stolen base. He's yet to be caught.
But taking the gamble in the middle of the lineup, particularly against the left-hander, shows the quickness of Rutledge. Want to break a ball down and away, Gaddis high with that throw, and Rutledge beats it, but the runner in scoring position.
Tulo had a lengthy at bat leading off the second inning. It resulted in a walk. And this ball lined down the line. That is a. I thought that was fair also.
Inning, huh?
Man. And you know what? Marty Foster had to look out for the baseball and then wheel around. And let's see where this one landed.
Yes, and this ball's coming right at him. I mean, this is hooking right at him. It is foul. But it's not fouled by much. Second one this inning.
Yeah, that one was fouled by a much bigger margin than Cargo's. Go ahead run at second in Rutledge, 1 out. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets at the club level today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Rutledge with that stolen base, one off McCutcheon and Cabrera, who both have 6. Everett Cabrera, Andrew McCutcheon. Change speeds on the 2-1, and it's 2-2.
Minor, quick through the minor league system of the Atlanta Braves as the #1 draft pick. 09 Rome, 2010 Mississippi, Gwinnett, and old Atlanta for 9 ball games, 8 starts. Spent a lot of time there. Tampa took him in the 13th round in 06.
Just missed. Heater in.
I'd like to know who else was on that Vanderbilt staff. I mean, Price and this guy, boy, I'll have Dougie look that up. Think about the 2009 staff at Vanderbilt.
And that pitch just missed. Cut that fastball in. Well, George, as you know, the last 7-8 years, Vanderbilt, year in and year out, put together one of the top recruiting classes in college baseball.
Well, Josh Holliday was there as the recruiting coordinator there after he took off for Arizona State for a couple of years, but Josh went to Vanderbilt after that. He's now the head coach at Oklahoma State, the brother of Matt Holliday. Had the recruiting wars with his dad. His dad's the assistant head coach at North Carolina State University.
Well, that whole area is ripe with baseball talent. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, they also a top flight program. 3-2. And this ball is hitting center field. B.J. Upton will go back, and Rutledge will tag and move up 90 feet.
Come on, Michael, drive him in, baby.
Michael Kadire, who's a perfect 3 for 3 in his career against Minor, will come up.
Boy, nice job that last at bat. Got a ball out over the plate, just drove it. And then what was good about this, Drew, he kept the double play out of any picture on this deal with his hustle and hit first slide into second base.
Chance to give the Rockies the lead here. Takes ball 1. Kadire's always swung it well against Atlanta. 344 average. Career 343 against the Braves, and he's got a 2-0 count. Talked a lot about the adjustment for Michael coming to the National League after so many years in the American League. He got that out of the way last year, and he's off to a tremendous start. 2-1.
Well, he's healthy too. I mean, at the end of the year, that was a bad deal. I mean, that oblique really shut him down. He was starting to swing the bat well again. Then the oblique got him.
Three and 1 with Rosario on deck.
It ain't there, Michael. Take a walk, baby.
Outside, ball 4. So Kadire walks. And that'll bring up Willeen Rosario. Well, you solicited.
I did. I got one. Got one.
Mail.
I got another one over here too from a comedian, and I'm not sure he's here in Denver, but I got this one. Came in and said, "Slap all the stupid people." He's a comedian here in downtown Denver. That's right. Thank you. You did that. This one came in. Hey, the Moosehead came in. Hold on a minute. Came in from Kent and Dale Pendleton out of Thornton, Colorado. Thanks for the Moosehead. I'll be wearing this around a little bit.
I like that hat.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then the other hat that we mentioned came in from, is that Meadles? Is that how I would say this?
Bob Meadows.
Bob Meadows. He's a comedian locally and based nationally, touring comic. So sent these in. Kind of liking the Moosehead. What do you think?
I think
I'll
it's
share
you.
it with you.
I think it's you. Actually, I think either one is you.
This one here?
Yeah.
Kind of liking the Moosehead.
Bouncer to third, and Johnson comes up with the baseball.
Is this better?
That was an in-between hop. Good pickup by Chris Johnson. Rockies have gotten even. Dexter Fowler triples, comes around.
Is that better?
I like it. 3-3 game.
The fourth inning, a 3-3 ball game between the Rockies and the Braves. This is Ron. He's a Braves fan. I saw him walking down, beer, hot dog. I said, hey, it's 23 degrees. He said, look, first trip to Coors Field, I'm having my beer and my hot dog, keeping the tradition alive. AT&T trivia, and it's about Chipper Jones. He's wearing a Chipper Jones jersey. During 95 to 2012, obviously, Chipper played the majority of the games at third base for the Braves. Who's second in starts at third base over that time frame? Think about it. The answer's coming up. Drew George?
Second most starts at third for Atlanta.
Terry Pendleton?
I think if Terry, that was toward the end of Terry's career.
The manager. No, he's second baseman. What? Johnson?
No, it was when Chipper was playing. Right? Is that the question? Can we throw the AT&T question up again? Evan Gaddis at the plate. Okay, we've gotten a clarification from the truck. During when Chipper played. Davey Johnson, George, and Chipper never overlapped.
No.
Here's the 1-1 on Gaddis, and this is good. 4-3. Gaddis with his 6th home run. That was a loud shot. 3rd home run off Jeff Francis in this ball game. Getting a feel for what Atlanta's done most of this season. They have hit the long ball.
Now the way he sets up, talking about Gaddis at the plate, is the way he sets up, it really allows a wide stance, but look how much load is to that backside. And you talk about a strong lower half. I mean, this guy's one of those guys that does have the strong lower half. Some guys a little more upright, some guys are down. But see, look how far he's down right here. Look at that crouch. And then all of a sudden, as the pitch starts to come in, he'll load everything to that backside where he can really explode on a baseball. He did there.
Gaddis grew up in the Dallas area, and George was telling his story. He had a scholarship to Texas A&M. He said, I just didn't have enough confidence in myself coming out of high school. He said, had a fear of failure, and he was honest. He said, I had a fear of failing a drug test.
What a turnaround. So I guess the real question kind of poses itself next is when Can comes back, where's this young man go?
Well, it'd be hard to send him out.
Well, he's not going to get sent out. I'm just saying, where are you going to keep it in the lineup? That's going to be the difficult part.
Well, as managers like to say,
they can hit off on your place.
Those are good problems to have. Reed Johnson out of the 8-hole for Freddie Gonzalez. 4-3 Braves. Reed in infield hit his first time up. Down the line. And that'll get to the corner. Reed Johnson will have a double with 1 out.
For right now, Jeff trying to make pitches to get through this inning because obviously his team tied it back up. They were down 3-0. Got it back 3-2, tied it up in the bottom of the inning. And now the leadoff home run by Gaddis, a strikeout, and now the double shot right by Chris Nelson down into this left field corner. If you were with a group of 25 or more, make sure you call Coors Field because I'd like to put your name up on the scoreboard. Let everybody know when you're here. Groups of 25 or more. Give the Rockies a call right now. You got some special offers out there for you. 303 Rockies. And get your group together and come down to the ballpark.
Up the middle. What a play by Tulowitzki. That saved a run as Mike Minor is looking for his first hit of the year. Great play by Tulowitzki.
I can tell you right now, if you're not 6'4", you don't make that play. He just flat laid out and knocked this ball down. And Minor, a good athlete, runs well, so Tulo had to get right back up off his feet in a hurry and make that snap throw to first. Nice play.
Here's Simmons. Andrelton, one of those kids, George from Curacao.
Who was the guy we had the other day? Mets? Was it the Mets? Or Diamondbacks? There was another player there. Gregorius, the short's the other shortstop.
Gregorius.
About the same age too, aren't they? Pretty close to.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close.
Jeff, get this guy.
Dougie, I knew you'd know just like that. It's like a steel trap sitting back there.
Run in the first for Atlanta on a home run by Upton. They had a 2-run homer in the second by Ugla. Francis got through the third unscathed, but a leadoff home run by Gaddis, and now Reed Johnson with 2 outs in third. And Francis has fallen behind 3-0. Andrelton, Simmons. Four-pitch walk, and that will bring up B.J. Upton, who is 0 for 2. Ground ball to third and a line drive to right.
The pitch count not really a big deal for Jeff right now. I mean, 69 pitches, 41 strikes, 28 balls. He's made a couple of good pitches that they've hurt him on, a couple of bad pitches they've hurt him on. Just getting in that danger area right now. That lineup you got to be really careful with.
And Rob Scahill is starting to get loose. Scahill's been stretched out in Colorado Springs. He is warming up to pitch multi-innings. B.J. Upton was looking to hit a 3-run home run there. Upton has scuffled early with the Braves, hitting 162 with a couple of home runs. I think both times he's hit a home run, almost positive that his brothers hit a home run also. I know it happened a few days ago on April 18th. I think it happened earlier also. Oh, 2. Could hear Scott Barry. BJ swung at it, and a lot of hitters will go, did I swing at a strike? They'll ask the home plate umpire, would that have been a strike? And Scott Barry confirmed, yep, that would have been a strike. Got to make a pitch here. First and third. Blocked, and for a moment, Reed Johnson thought about galloping home.
Freddie Gonzalez yesterday said the home plate area looks different. And I said, yeah, it's a little closer. So I'm sure they've made everybody aware in their deal. When this thing ricocheted off, it doesn't get back to the home plate area, but it does a very nice job of keeping the ball within a distance to get to the baseball. Good job, Wayne.
BJ, part of some outstanding Tampa Bay Ray teams for Joe Madden. One, two.
Well, he's part of a long list of players, Drew, that Tampa no longer could afford, that have gone on to play. But the thing about Tampa, it seems like they just replace them with guys that within their system, or get a guy that's been kind of on a downslope and get a hold of him and run his career back up again.
What they've done an extraordinary job of is coming up with pitching, developing pitching. Here's the 2-2 runner going, and it's line foul. His career in Tampa, BJ, who first hit the big leagues in 2004, hit 255 with 118 home runs and just shy of 450 RBIs in the Tampa uniform. He also stole 232 bases playing for the Rays. Last year he hit 246 with 28 home runs. The year before, 243 with 23 home runs.
Kind of one of those rare guys, though, that can combine his speed with the home run power and the coverage in the outfield.
Justin hits for a higher average. Got it. Big pitch by Francis. Got him on a hook. In the inning, a home run by Evan Gaddis deep to left field has given the Braves another lead. They're up 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
The AT&T trivia question was Chipper Jones, third base, 95 to 2012 for the Braves. Who had the second most starts to Chipper Jones? And I know you guys were thinking about Terry Pendleton. He's on the list, but second most, Vinny Castilla. Because you remember there was the one year.
We should have known that.
Yeah, when Vinny played third and Chipper went into the outfield. Other names on that list are like Eric Hinsky, Wes Helms, Mike Mordecai, Mark DeRosa. I mean, you've done the games over the years, but it's an interesting list to look at beyond Chipper.
You know what? We should have figured that one out.
Should have known a Rocky tie today playing against, you know how they do it.
Pacheco skies to Reed Johnson, 1 out. Chris Nelson will be next to face Mike Minor. He struck out his first time up. See if Francis comes out on deck. He will.
But sometimes in the middle of a ball game, particularly a one-run ball game, if there's 2 outs, he may let Francis hit. We've seen this at Coors Field before, and then let Scahill come out and pitch, because Scahill's continuing to kind of look down in the bullpen and throw for Walt Weiss, and it may be a decision they make with 2 outs instead of burn somebody on their bench, because if Helton couldn't go today as a pinch hitter, couldn't get it loose, then that's something you would obviously do.
And even if you had a full complement, George, to underscore your point, you don't necessarily want to burn somebody in the 4th inning, 2 outs, nobody out.
Against their bullpen,
if that's the case.
But not against their bullpen, particularly because they got such good left-right matchups to go against Walton, what he would be trying to accomplish.
4-3 Atlanta, the 2-1 to Nelly's in there, 2-2. Minor's really picking up where he left off in September. He went 4-0 last year in September with an 0.87 ERA. League hit 129 against him last September, and he strikes out Nelson again. 4th strikeout for Minor, and here comes Francis. Auto glass damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com.
Come on, Jeff. Get some wood on it.
1-2. Minor's the highest drafted pitcher for the Atlanta Braves.
They've been fortunate. A lot of the guys
a long time. In fact, he's the highest draft selection they've had. He was 7th pick overall since Mike Kelly was taken 2nd in 1991 out of Arizona State.
Remember 2 things. They win a lot, so they don't get to pick very high.
Yep.
The other side of that is they've been a great job of developing, like Chris Medlin, who's kind of a middle round guy. Then you mentioned earlier Craig Kimbrell, where he was in the draft. A lot of 5 through 20 round draft picks have made it to the big leagues with the Atlanta Braves.
Two and 2 on Francis, 2 outs, nothing going on, and that is going to be a base hit. Maybe, nope. Off the bat, thought it may drop. Simmons got out there, made the catch. A 1-2-3 4th inning for Mike Minor. 4-3 Braves. This look back. A lot of balls hit over the wall by the Atlanta Braves so far in this game. It began with Justin Upton, the big league leader in that category, went deep in center field, his 10th of the year. In the second inning, Dan Uggla, no stranger to trotting around the bases, a two-run shot. Rockies were down 3-0, but they would counterpunch an RBI ground out here off the bat of Willeen Rosario. That brought Tulowitzki home. And then a Jordan Pacheco base hit got the Rockies to 3-2. In the third inning, after a leadoff triple by Dexter Fowler, Rutledge, a little squiver that got the run home, and then Evan Gattis unknotted things with a blast to left center field. Let's drop the bat and go. He knew that was long gone. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address in Littleton and soon to be Greenwood Village. They have a grand opening coming up very shortly. Justin Upton will lead things off for Atlanta, and he's going to see Rob Scahill. Scahill last year in September got in 6 ball games, and he did very nicely in his first big league experience. This afternoon's pitching change brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Scahill this year in AAA, 5 ball games, 2-0, had a save. 12 2/3, 18 hits given up, softly hit to shortstop. He'll be able to get Upton on a lead ground ball, which you're trying to accomplish here.
Well, it's going to be a contrast, George, for the Atlanta hitters, and that, you know, Francis is 86, 87 with his fastball, and Scahill, when he reaches back, can go to the mid-90s.
Normal day, yeah, and it's a little obviously very cold out, 25 degrees now on the board here at the ballpark. But he can run at 92, 97 miles an hour at times with a very good slider, trying to work an advanced change. And Rob was last year a starting pitcher at AAA. Led the AAA staff in innings pitched a year ago. Part of that group of guys that they foresee being someone long to middle spot starter at the big league level.
Center field and deep. Dexter going back will make the catch on the warning track. A long out off the bat of Freddie Freeman. Second time he has hit one to the track.
Well, one of the important things for Scahill to do right now is to make sure that you maintain the game of what it was when he came in. The coldest recorded temperature in an outdoor Major League Baseball game.
Well, the coldest ever at Coors Fields today, 23 degrees.
Well, you know,
the original low was 28. And that was matched last week.
I don't think they kept it years ago. I mean, I know that I warmed up at a ball game. It was 19 degrees in Toronto on the lake. So, I mean, it was really cold in there in Toronto.
Well, actually, we do have a graphic that's going to indicate the coldest temperatures that at least have been recorded recently. Chris Johnson at the plate. And that's pulled to third. It's bobbled by Nelson, and he's still going to get an out, I think. Yep, he did. Chris Nelson, that's staying with it. Fired to first and got Chris Johnson a 1-2-3 inning for Rob Scahill. Here's what we'll do. We'll answer that question graphically when we come back in the bottom half of the inning. Rockies trailing 4-3, middle of 5. Atlanta leading 4-3. He evidently did a little skiing this morning. Came down, caught the afternoon ball game. Rockies will play 2 today. They'll play at 6:40. We'll have it for you on Root Sports. Coldest days in baseball since 1991. This is the coldest. The Mets in Colorado a few days ago. And there was also another Rockies game that was 28 degrees. The Cubs, Royals, and Reds have all had some chilly days. Dexter tripled his last time up. 1 for 2. That snapped a 1 for 16 slide for Dexter. 7th Rockies triple in 10 home games. Look at it. Francis goes 4 innings, allows 4 runs on 6 hits. Walked 2, struck out 5, 75 pitches. And this ball into left field, and it's going to drop in front of Upton. So another hit for Dexter, and the tying run is aboard.
I think that's a maturity level for Dexter now too. Struggled 1 for 15 prior to today's ball game. All of a sudden, a couple of hits pop up. You just never give up on what he's trying to accomplish.
He's just supremely confident, George, and
just
well,
changes.
he should be.
Well, it just changes for you. I mean, obviously able to relax now because money does play a part of the game. But he's able to relax after receiving a multi-year contract, performing very well.
And Rutledge puts down a bunt, and they're going to get the out at first. It's one of those where it kind of works out either way. If you're safe, you get a hit naturally, and they'll give him officially a sacrifice, 2-3. So Dexter in scoring position for Cargo. Cargo a fly ball to left center field, and then he struck out on a 3-2 curveball from Mike Minor. Playing him straight up. B.J. Upton, and we see some center fielders do this, George, at Coors Field. It almost looks like he's trying to take away what drops so frequently in front of outfielders. Not playing very deep.
A lot of times guys feel like at that level, if it's got any height to it at that distance, it's leaving the yard. The only thing I see playing in this ballpark, only because of the big gaps, that shallow really cuts down your range and distance of coverage into the gap area. But you have 2 fairly quick guys on both sides of you, and if they're playing a little deeper, they can help you out with it. But as a center fielder, it's difficult to play that shallow. I mean, Andrew Jones was ridiculously shallow, along with Rick Ankel did the same thing. Edmonds did the same thing. They played really close.
3-0 on Cargo. See if he gets something to handle here. Not to his liking. It's 3-1. One out. Dexter's at second base. Tying run in a 4-3 ball game. Bottom of 5. The 2 teams with the best record in baseball at 13-5.
Come on, Cargo, take the walk, baby.
Tulowitzki on deck. Rockies had their 8-game winning streak snapped 5-4 on Sunday. Had a 4-2 lead, 4-3 in the 9th, couldn't hold it. This is lobbed into shallow left, easy play for Simmons, 2 outs. Thanks for texting in your questions. It was a 5-pitch inning. We didn't get to many last inning, so if you have more, Tracy Ringlesby standing by to answer another Toyota Talk question before the conclusion of this game. Walk, a run scored in the second, and a fly ball to center field for Tulowitzki. Trying to come through here with 2 outs. Next pitch for Myers will be number, for Minor will be number 89. He got under this one a little bit. Easy play for B.J. Upton. And the Rockies are going to leave Fowler at second base. We'll go to the 6th inning. Atlanta 4, Colorado 3.
Up 4-3. Drew and George were talking about Rob Scahill, who is in for the Rockies. I was down in the Springs on Saturday, and I talked to Rob, and we were just talking about him being a reliever. And he said that after what he did last year, getting called up in September, the organization said, we could use you out of the bullpen, either in long relief or short. And he said, that's great. That suits my mentality well. I'm just going to go out there and attack. And we also taught guys a little bit about hitting because he loves to hit. He hits from the left side, and I said, did you get a hit yet with the Sky Sox? He says, my first at bat I got a hit. Second one, he beat out the throw and got called out, and since he has struck out every time. Christian Friedrich and the guys are having fun with that one, but Rob Scahill, happy to be back. And oh, by the way, his girlfriend Aurora, you may remember last year in Atlanta and Philly, she followed him and didn't see his first outing. They're now engaged to be married. So
she's a school teacher up in the Chicago area.
Yes, school teacher, right. So she had to go back because school started, but didn't get to see his debut.
Well, Rob spent a lot of time with us in fantasy camp this year. Had a good time with him. First time for him to come, actually. So it was good to have him around.
He's my skipper. I called him this morning.
Did you call him Skippy?
I called him Skip. 1-0 on Evan Gaddis, who hit a long home run his last time up, and that's a line to Chris Nelson. So Gaddis is retired. That'll bring up Dan Ugla.
Well, if you haven't bought a suite yet, why don't you? Because if you do, you're going to get one free. Ha! Did you know that, Dougie? Dougie, if you buy one, you get one free. Now, there's about 16 of these buy one, get one free dates in April and May. So call right now and see if you can arrange one for you, your company, your family. Come out to the ballpark, get in the suite, have some great food, and watch the Rockies play baseball. 303 Rockies for that offer.
Whoa. Look good.
Dougie, were you thinking about skiing today? You got your ski pants on. I didn't know if you cross-country skied on your way down here. I'll tell you what, I came over here this morning about 8:30. I said, there's no way if this keeps up. I mean, taxis sliding all over the place everywhere.
Well, last week when there was about 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground, we woke up and said, there's no way. There's just no way. And sure enough, after shoveling the field, the entire Rockies organization out there, and again today, they were able to play. But I thought the same thing this morning. The only reason I felt like, well, maybe they'll play is based on what happened last week. And the thing that makes it so difficult is you're saying, well, why are they doing this? It's 23 degrees. Here's the 1-2 on. The problem is you play in Major League Baseball 162 games in 180 days. If you lose games against teams outside your division when they only come in once, it's really hard to find a makeup date, a mutual day where you're both off.
Well, the hard part is, too, the last thing you want to do to disrupt playoffs is have to play a game when the season ends to decide whether one of these two clubs would go to the playoffs.
Especially, George, since there's an extra playoff team now,
right,
with the wild card, the second wild card being added last year. Strike 3 on Dan Uggla. So Rob Scahill so far has retired all 5 he has faced.
You're going to talk about maintaining the ball game. You know, that's one of the things in this role that you've got to try to do. Hard slider away. Good pitch by Scahill. Right on the black, on the knees. Froze Uggla. Framed it nicely by Willeen Rosario behind the plate.
Reed Johnson, a single and a double in the game. And this ball is ripped to left center field. And he has thoughts of going 3, and now he slams on the brakes.
He slowed down, too. And I'm not saying he could have made it. I don't think he would have anyway with the relay throw and the strength of arms the Rockies have in the middle of the infield. But he thought about it. He's just slowed down a little bit. Mike Shaw Subaru here. Flew out a little bit quick on that fastball. And when he did, you got a guy that's a good low ball hitter. And that's about mid-thigh fastball that he drove out into left center field in the deepest part of the ballpark. A couple of hops in there, and then he's thinking about it. Well, should I? I don't know. Well, maybe. Nope, I'm going back. He saw the throws coming in from the outfield.
And Minor had a hit taken away by Tulowitzki on a good play up the middle. 2 outs. Reed Johnson at second. And Minor hits it in the air to left center field pretty deep. Fowler going back, and Dexter will get there. Hey, well, Minor can swing the bat a little bit.
Well, lesson be learned there. If you're a Rockies pitcher and you're thinking about this, I mean, gut shot fastball, he just hit it 395 feet. 4-3 Atlanta.
Tune in Friday after the game for Rockies Real Time. This week, join your favorite Rockies players and coaches on the set of the 2013 Rockies commercials and take a ride to the ballpark in Carlos Ferrari as we take you behind the scenes of his day. Rockies Real Time, it's Friday after the game right here on Root Sports. Those are always entertaining. Rockies trail 4-3. In the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to start up a new win streak. They lost for the first time at home on Sunday when they couldn't hold the lead. And as I mentioned earlier, snapped that 8-game winning streak. They're 8-1 at home this year. And a lot of people, I think, looking in baseball saying, well, the Rockies played exceptionally well, and see how they match up with the great pitching staff of the Atlanta Braves. Our old friend Bob Nightingale is in covering this the first part of this series for USA Today.
Yeah, and everything got canceled last night. I went to dinner with Bob, and we talked an awful lot about both of these ball clubs. He said, your club, you know, you got some guys with high averages, yet they still hit it over the wall. The Braves kind of opposite of that. A couple of guys with high averages, but a lot of guys that hit it over the wall. But the pitching's been, he said what he thought remarkable was the pitching here at Coors Field with the Rockies has just been outstanding.
The ERA coming into the game better at Coors Field for the Rockies than it's been out on the road. It's been pretty good out on the road also. 0-2 fouled off by Kadire. Kadire, Rosario, and Pacheco against Mike Minor here in the 6th inning.
You know, Corey Bossert brought me that moose hat up. We scored 3 runs. I took it off. Think I ought to put it back on?
Maybe.
All right, here I go.
And Minor with his 5th strikeout. Rosario, an RBI ground out in the 2nd, and also a roller to 3rd.
Go Rockies! Go Rockies!
Molin's cooled off a little bit here at home. 3 for 19 on the homestand.
Well, I mentioned earlier, you know, I said the other day, I said, hey, send me some hats. I'll wear them on air. Drew will wear them with me, won't you? Come on.
Sure.
A couple of them. But anyway, I got my moose hat today. I got a Slap the Stupid People from a comedian here in town that travels nationally. Sent me a hat also. So I'm kind of excited. These guys, I don't think you're going to get that away from him, though. Any of those great big ones, none of that stuff. It's staying right there.
Look at those things. Those are great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's pulled foul, and I guess those are buddies of Evan Gaddis, the catcher. He has ties to Colorado. One of the ski areas he worked at, mentioned that he was a ski operator, was Eldora, just outside of Boulder.
Go, Bull, start us off.
Tell you what we need right now, George, is ski hats.
Well, Doug just requested for me to lobby you at why couldn't you ski in this hat, Doug? Soft fly ball into the outfield, up and look it up. Why can't you ski in a moose hat?
Well, ordinarily, George, I will tell you, because I know you don't ski. Ordinarily, you could ski in that hat in April.
Okay.
Okay, because ordinarily you think of spring skiing in April. Warm, sunglasses, lighter attire.
Right.
I would go
Not
out
now.
in that today in downtown Denver because it is freezing out. It's midwinter cold.
Right, it is. And so Dougie's requesting some ski hats in. Yeah, a little of that's fine. Like that, it'd be great. I get the one on the right, Dougie gets the one on the left.
2 outs, Pacheco at the plate.
Was that a Garfinkel hat or Garfunkel hat? What was the cartoon with the Bullwinkle? That's the guy. Rocky and Bullwinkle, yeah.
You just had your Finkles wrong. Pacheco, an RBI single in the 2nd, a fly ball to right in the 4th.
Doug, any particular color you'd like to match coats or anything? Okay, all right. I love hats. I'm a hat collector at home. A lot of different hats.
Boy, you always lobby Sarge when we see Philadelphia.
Oh, absolutely. All of his hats are hanging up in the closet. Some of them are in the truck. Got a lot of ball caps.
Three balls and a strike on Pacheco. You wonder if this will be the final inning of work for Mike Minor. I was talking to Freddie Gonzalez. You always want to be leery, Freddie said at Coors Field, of overusing the bullpen. Down the left field line, stay fair, got a chance to get out. It is a foul ball. But the other thing you have to be a little bit leery of today with this extreme cold is working a pitcher, too deep. And his next pitch will be number 101.
Well, they got the lefty-righty combination going down there right now. Guerin's a right-hander. He's kind of a low three-quarter submarine guy. The left-hander is, help me out with the exact pronunciation, Drew. Avalon, the left-hander. He had a little hamstring deal the other day. Guerin's the right-hander, but he's one of those guys a little bit more three-quarters, quick delivery to the plate, sets very high.
Or is Johnny Benner's not available? He's got an elbow issue right now on the DL. Pacheco hits one in the air to right field. Reed Johnson waiting. He's got it. And it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Mike Minor. We move to the 7th. It remains 4-3 Braves. Third inning of work for Rob Scahill upcoming, and Atlanta will have the top of their order. Here's our CenturyLink What's Next? It's brought to you by CenturyLink. Julio Teheran against John Garland in the nightcap, and it's not a back-to-back doubleheader. It's not the old conventional doubleheader. It's a day-night doubleheader. So we're back on the air tonight with the pregame show at 6. We'll have a normal postgame, by the way, after this one, and the first pitch will come at 6:40. Garland's been terrific for the Rockies thus far. Tied affair. Rob Scahill, 2 innings of scoreless relief. Jeff Francis gave up 4 runs in 4 innings, 3 home runs against Jeff. Justin Upton, Dan Ugla, Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, top of the order for Scahill. He's done a really, really nice job. I mean, other than that double you mentioned about Reed Johnson in the left center field. Attacked the strike zone. He's thrown a total of 15 pitches in 2 innings. And that's just what you want. I go back to the 2009 season when Jim Tracy was here and took over. It was Matt Daly was the guy that really came into a lot of games down 4-3, would leave after 2 or 3 innings, still 4-3, or actually getting a win out of the deal. The ball club would come back, and that's such an important role with this team.
Simmons pops this one up. Rutledge drop stepping. Here comes Kadire, and he'll call him off. And that's how you like to see it handled. Those pop-ups in a shallow outfield spot. If the outfielder can get there, it's easier for him coming in.
A lot of times the middle infielder, they start backpedaling like that, they lose their balance.
B.J. Upton's 0 for 3, ground ball to third, a line drive to Kadire, and a strikeout, and it was a big one by Jeff. So we're guys in scoring position, and B.J. swings through that slider. Or a fastball, 94.
He's averaged
90, a little bit.
93, 95 miles an hour with his fastball today. It's kind of rare back. Here it is, so you can hit it and have it. Scahill's been winning the battle.
There's the slider. This one, Pacheco hoping for a play, won't have one. 2 strikes. B.J. Upton's hitting second for the first time this year. He's led off some, and he's hit 229 there. He was batting in an RBI spot in about 4 games and was 0 for 18. For Freddie Gonzalez, it's been interesting to watch the relationship between the 2 brothers. They always spoke frequently during the season when BJ was in Tampa and Justin was in Phoenix playing for the D-backs, but now being together every day. He said, you know, Justin will get after his older brother sometimes too, so you're thinking too much. Let's go, swing the bat.
Well, who knows each other better than your own family? I mean, about what's going on with you to try to get you going, you know? That's the other way you got to look at it. Yeah. You guys know each other very well.
1-2. And this one's out of play also. Atlanta very busy in the offseason. They pick up the Upton brothers, and Justin's off to a hellacious start. BJ scuffling a little bit. 28 years old, 28 years of age for BJ, and Justin is 25. He'll turn 26 later on this year.
BJ's swing really has to be in timing. If you watch, his bat's pretty busy at the top. When you get a busy bat, you know, instead of being really calm and still, to try to get things going, if you don't time everything right, you have a tendency to get a little bit of a loop in your swing. And when you get that loop, it's when you get soft fly balls to the right side of the infield, which we watched here a couple of times. And when you time it right, things can be pretty good. And you can hit it a long, long way.
Two and two. Got him. Rob Scahill with a reach back fastball at 94, and that's out number 2 in the 7th inning.
Exactly what it was. I mean, he really keeps his hand behind the baseball well on this fastball. Doesn't let it get outside the baseball and threw the ball right by him.
And now here's Justin.
He hit a ground ball. First batter faced by Scahill. Back in the 5th, hit a ground ball to shortstop.
Justin Upton was the first overall pick in the June draft of 2005. BJ was the 2nd overall pick when he was drafted back in 2002. Isn't that something?
Pretty happy days there.
That's a strike also. 0-2. Upton a home run in the 1st and a strikeout and a ground out since.
In the past, in this situation, you had 2 options here. You could run the fastball in, but it had to get above the hands. But the number 1 option that he would chase is that breaking ball out of the zone.
That's where they're going right there. And there's the slider and an easy play for Rutledge. What a job by Rob Scahill. 3 scoreless innings to keep it a 4-3 game. Now the offense has to kick in. Middle of 7th.
down to the Braves 4-3. Everybody knows that Walt was a member of the Rockies. He started his career with the Oakland A's. Then he went to the Florida Marlins, then Colorado, and ended his career as a member of the Atlanta Braves. And what you need to know about his time with the Braves is that Walt was an all-star. That year was 1998. Where was the all-star game? At Coors Field that July, so he enjoyed his time with the Braves playing for Bobby Cox. And then Jim Leland was the manager of the National League team he played with here at Coors Field for the All-Star game. But Walt Weiss, an interesting thing, I was looking up Drew and George. I wondered if he had played any other position in the big leagues, and he said to me, you know what? I have only played shortstop in the minors and in the majors. You would think maybe for an out or an inning, no other position. Very few guys have done that. Jeter is DH but only played short. Tulo's only played short. And I saw maybe Ozzie Smith and Louis Aparicio, but everybody else at least another infield position.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, that's good studying because that's a good research because that's really unusual. You mentioned Tulowitzki, and Tulowitzki's just in his prime right now. There's some conversation that later on down the road he'll eventually, with his size and strength and home run ability, have to move to third. To just play shortstop your whole career and play as long as Walt did.
Yeah, in the minors, not even one out at another position.
That's different. He knows Freddie a little bit from when Freddie was managing in the Marlins system. Chris Nelson takes a strike. It's 2-1. Freddie was managing in the Marlins system when Rene Latchman was the skipper of the Marlins. Two balls and a strike on Nelson.
Baseball heritage, even not related, but baseball heritage of where you have been around a lot of different people, and just like players.
This ball's well struck center field and deep. B.J. Upton is going to get there in the middle of the track. So Chris Nelson gave it a ride against the new pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, Luis Avalon, in relief of Mike Minor, who went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits, couple of walks, 5 punch-outs. Avalon, the 23-year-old lefty.
All part of that Atlanta bullpen, the #1 ranked bullpen in all of baseball, 1.22 earned run average. A year ago, he pitched in 31 ball games, 36 innings, 27 hits. He struck out 33. He keeps the ball in the park. Last year in the big leagues, just 1 home run and 36 innings thrown.
So with 1 out, EY will pinch hit. Great job by Rob Scahill. For Rob, George, he had a particularly early call this morning because he's still living in Colorado Springs. And it took him, because it was sloppy on the roads with the winter weather, it took him almost 2 hours to get here from the Springs. 2-0 on Junior. 4-3 Atlanta. Latter third of this ball game. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Atlanta. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Colorado. And it's 3-0 on EY. Dexter's on deck.
Rob sitting there with Pacheco, teammates throughout the minor leagues, from Modesto, AA, AAA, and the big leagues. If things get tied up, you'll see Matt Belisle out on the mound. If they trail by 1, you'll more than likely see Escalona on the mound.
And Junior with a hard smash, but it's right at Chris Johnson. 2 outs.
Hey, join us on Tuesday as we turn back the clock to 1993 in celebration of the first ever Rockies game with throwback uniforms and ticket prices.
Dex, a triple and a single. Also a ground ball to third.
Well, I want to correct something very quickly. I read that turn back. We already have done that. Follow the Rockies on your phone or your iPad with the MLB.tv and featuring pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and a whole lot more. So it's MLB.com at BAT13.
And Avalon, a 1, 2, 3, 7th inning. 4-3 Braves. Innings now, top of the 8th inning with the Braves ahead by a run. Freddie Freeman will lead it off after watching the Rockies play the Diamondbacks on Sunday in Phoenix. Stick around for Rockies Weekly. We'll recap the best of the week and provide an exclusive interview with the coaching staff. Don't miss Rockies Weekly at Sunday after the ball game. Freddie Freeman, Chris Johnson, Evan Gaddis, and on the hill is Edgmer Escalona. And once again, a marvelous job by Rob Scahill. 3 innings. He allowed 1 base runner, a Reed Johnson double. Other than that, didn't walk anybody, and he struck out a pair. And most importantly, he kept it at 4-3 to give this Rockies team a chance.
Well, that's the big thing right there, maintaining the ball game. Now Escalona, you hand the ball to him. He needs to follow suit here and be able to keep this ball game right where it is.
Freddie Freeman in the ball game. 2 deep fly balls, 1 to right and 1 to center. And also a walk. Freddie had a great start to the season, George, before hurting the oblique. He had 3 hit, 3 RBI day on opening day, including a home run. Shortly thereafter, he had an oblique injury, and that's a base hit for Freeman.
Let's take a look at Escalona's numbers. He's thrown the ball very well so far, and you know, again, the other day gave up 2-run home run to Chavez. Other than that, out of 6 ball games, 10 2/3, 8 hits given up. He struck out 7. And the important thing, just walked 1. Now 3 home runs. He inherited runners. He's inherited 4. 4 haven't scored. That's outstanding. First batter efficiency, 83%. Outstanding.
Johnson in the air to right. Dyer makes the catch. Boy, the sun is really heating things up, George. It's up to 27.
Out there, maybe. Glad I got the hat. See it there, 27 degrees at 317 here in Denver.
Something tells me it's not going to go up much higher.
No, I don't either. I think it's pretty much going to be starting heading the other way.
Evan Gaddis, strikeout, long home run, and a line out to third. Talked about the journey this young man's taken to the big leagues. Ball's down and
foul ball. I think he hit the
ball.
knob.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's going to send Freeman back to first. Gaddis, George, when he was working at Eldora. Here's the pitch.
See, on the slow-mo, you can really see this. Mike Shaw, watch this. Barely. What that hit the battery's arm? Hit the bat, didn't it? Hit the back end of it. He checked his swing. That bat head was dropped behind the elbow and just caught it.
When he was working at Eldora, George, driving his car back and forth about 15 miles to the mountain, safe there. Well, he lost his car keys outside and it snowed. Couldn't find him for 3 weeks. He had to hitchhike back and forth to his job as a lift operator. And finally, the snow melted enough, he found him. 3 weeks.
Tough way to go there. Great success story. Glad it's happened to him. 44 home runs in 222 minor league ball games. He's got 6 in 16 big league games.
Two and one. There was a note in the Atlanta Braves pregame release that it reminded me of the football season. It reminded me like when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go on the road to a cold weather site. It said the Braves this year, George, are 1-2 in games played at 45 degrees or under.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. Look at Joe Simpson, colleague on the other side over there. What did he call it? What is the Iditarod, or what's it called?
Iditarod.
That's the trip we're on right now.
3-1.
Because in Pittsburgh, it was just absolutely freezing.
Well, Joe came prepared today, and he was in a giving mood to his old Oklahoma buddy.
We gave me a heater.
Well, he came in, and Joe had a blanket, actually an electric blanket for you.
Had a heating pad too.
But I was giving them a hard time. Chip carry. This ball's in the air to deep left. Cargo going back. Will he have a play? Yes. Gadd is flirting with another home run. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Ugla.
Thank goodness for cold weather. The ball got in on hands a little bit of Gaddis, but he's a really strong guy. You would just kind of figure on warmer days that ball probably would have carried one of those high fly Coors Field type home runs. You know what I understand? I really thought, because Joe Simpson and I went to college together. Very good teammate. He might teammate with me and you today and open the windows over there, but not happening.
Well, that's why I was giving them a hard time.
Not happening.
They kept the windows closed. That's why he was being so generous with all his warm stuff.
So. Yeah.
They're not open for business on the Atlanta side. That misses 2-0.
Got a red blanket pulled over him over there. Oh, no, they're there. There we are. Here's where the real men work. Right over here, pal.
3-0 on Ugla.
I'm sure their truck is, the producers and directors are telling Joe that your Okie buddies over there ripping on you pretty good about right now.
Well, we want them to know.
Yeah,
absolutely. No problem with that.
Yeah. Except if it gets really cold tonight, we might want that electric blanket. And I don't think we're going to get it.
They may take back that offer. 3-1. Looking ahead to the 8th inning. The Rockies will have 2, 3, and 4. Rutledge, Gonzalez, and Tulowitzki.
They're countering. They've got O'Flaherty warming up down in their bullpen right now. Thing I didn't understand is Kerry's over there and got on a blanket, a scarf. He's got on all kinds of stuff over there. Joe's over there sweating. He's got on a sweatshirt. And Kerry's got it. I mean, he's over there. See all the coat on, everything cold. Got his hat on. Got his stocking cap on. He's ready.
Chip lives in Orlando also, so I mean, this is really
Well, that's probably,
fun.
yeah, you're probably right.
3-2 again. Swung on and missed. And nice job by Escalona coming all the way back to strike out Ugla. Freeman left at first. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Braves by a run. Most of the offense early in this game. Dexter has a couple of hits, including a triple. Josh Rutledge, an RBI infield single. Not a lot of offense for the Rockies against first Mike Minor and then Luis Avalon. They'll try to turn that around here in the 8th inning against Eric O'Flaherty, the other lefty in the Atlanta bullpen. Josh Rutledge, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki. Right part of the lineup, George, and the other reason you have to emphasize this inning is Craig Kimbrell's waiting in the 9th.
Yeah, he is, and O'Flaherty's not a, it's not an easy day at the beach to go against this guy either. I mean, he's somebody that can come right at you. Now, he is not Josh Fetters with a heavy fastball, but he has taken over the role of that 8th inning setup guy to pass the baton. 2.08 earned run average, 4 hits given up in those 8+ innings. Like I said, not a lot of strikeouts, but he gets the ball put on the ground. The ball stays in the yard.
League's hitting 138 against him. That's a good start.
That was a self-defense catch.
Yep, he gets Josh Rutledge. That'll bring up Cargo. Cargo's 0 for 3. Fly out to left, a strikeout and pop to short. Gonzalez 3 for 6 though, lifetime against Eric O'Flaherty. It's been 4-3 since the top of the 4th inning. The difference in this game, an Evan Gattis home run. And Cargo hits it softly to second. That's going to be the second out. If you have auto glass damage, call Safelite Auto Glass. Vehicle glass experts at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Tulowitzki 0 for 2 and a walk. Flaherty primarily fastball slider.
But pretty good command, just like everybody else seems to be out of that bullpen.
Johnson is playing on the line, and it's a very quick 1-2-3 inning for O'Flaherty. Through 5 pitches. 4-3 Atlanta. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Rockies trailing the Braves 4-3. The Rockies just 1 hit since the 4th inning. And the Braves pitching has retired 12 straight. Let's check in with Jenny Kavnar on our set out in center field. Jenny.
Hey Drew, coming up on the Toyota post-game show, the boys will join me and we'll talk about this Justin Upton. I'm talking about how good Justin Upton is. Clearly, he hit his 10th home run of the season, still leads Major League Baseball in home runs. Plus, we'll talk about sub-zero, and I'm not just talking temperatures here at Coors Field today. Rob Scahill comes in for long inning relief and throws 3 scoreless innings. We'll talk about the reliever. Plus, of course, we'll get to the historical context of the cold here at Coors Field, and we'll get you inside the clubhouse. But as I throw it back to you, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Hey,
you guys like my hat?
Yeah, where'd you get your hat?
I think from the 1920s, little flapper action.
Tell Huey to come out and get the moose hat for the postgame.
Okay, I'll do that.
Well,
I doubt he's coming though.
The film of the great F. Scott Fitzgerald book, the Great Gatsby's coming out, and that looks like it fits that era. Very nice, Jenny.
Very nice hat.
Reed Johnson here in the top of the 9th inning. Escalona's 2nd inning of work. Scahill 3 shutout innings. Escalona a shutout 8th inning. The Braves only have 1 hit since the 4th inning also. Pitchers of record, Minor and Francis. Mike Minor gave up 3 runs in 6 innings. Jeff Francis 4 runs in 4 innings. One-two. Been a big day for Reed Johnson. Single, double, double.
And for a guy that came in hitting a $125, he's going to walk out of this one hitting 263. He's had a big day. Swung a bat very, very well. Played decent right field. Just judged the 1 ball hit by Fowler, but other than that, been right on top of it, taking 2 really tough breaking balls from Escalona too. And so offered at him. Schaefer's out in the on-deck circle. He's hit 400 on the year, but he's 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
Rockies are going to have to go to work against Craig Kimbrell, who's allowed 2 hits this year. To third, and that's down the left field line, and a 3rd double for Reed Johnson. I'm sure that's how you're going to score that one. Chris Nelson's diving. So that is now officially a double. 4 for 4 for Reed Johnson.
Late in the ball game, down 1. Typically you would guard the line tighter, but with a hard thrower on the mound, you don't anticipate the ball being pulled. And Escalona definitely a hard thrower. Johnson got out in front of this thing. Nice diving effort by Nelson. Shot right by.
Jordan Schaefer, who came up with the Braves, moved on to Houston in the Michael Bourne trade and is now back with Atlanta. He's up there now, pinch hitting, and you figure he's going to bunt.
You know, the other pitcher they're going to get back that's going to make them pretty good too is Brandon Beachy. He's supposed to be back in July.
Good bunt. So Reed Johnson to third with one out. Stay connected this season by following Root Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We want to hear from you as the Rockies continue this 2013 campaign. Get online and tell us which game has been your favorite thus far to watch. Andrelton Simmons at the plate. He's 0 for 3 and a walk. Infield in. The Braves ahead 4-3 in the ninth.
Yeah, trying to get Rex Brothers loose too. That's for Freddie Freeman. And as late as this is, trying to get him going. There's one out. A couple of right-handed hitters coming up right after
this. This game, George, has been how the Braves have played this year in a nutshell. They've hit a lot of home runs, not necessarily gotten a ton of hits, though they do have 9, and they've pitched exceptionally well. Their starting rotation and their bullpen. That's what they've done today. In fact, it's kind of it's an odd feeling, because if you've watched this game, you feel like Atlanta, you know, is way ahead, and yet it's a one-run game, and the Rockies trying to keep it that way. This is popped up in the infield. Tulowitzki retreating. Is he going to get there? Great catch. That is a great play. When you're in the situation he was in, George, infield in, I mean, he's got to race out there. Dexter couldn't get there. He's too deep. And he makes the catch blind to home plate, and then quickly pivoting because you have good speed at third base.
And you might ask, why throw it? Because you don't know, and if you double clutch, you end up airmailing it. It's all about reaction. He caught that ball, spun through it, right through the mound, and Moline buried that baseball out in front because it was skipped to him. It wasn't thrown all the way in the air from about 150 feet. Tulowitzki throwing off that back foot, but a strike to the plate.
Now B.J. Upton 0 for 4 and is behind 0-1. Man, this is huge right here. Keep it a one-run game and give yourself a fighting chance against one of the game's best closers in Craig Kimbrell. He doesn't need any insurance.
Well, there's the right-hander that last year dominated baseball. Hard-throwing right-hander.
He wasn't bad his first year in 2011 either. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Rockies in the ninth. Kadire, Rosario, and Pacheco. And it's fouled off the mask of Rosario. 5 mile an hour flashing up on the screen. Only other game going on right now, and it's over. Minnesota and Miami, they're having to play 2 also. They have had weather issues in Minneapolis, and the Twins beat the Marlins 4-3. Boy, the Marlins off to the worst start, probably not surprisingly so in franchise history. 1-2, swung on and missed. Escalona gets B.J. Upton, who wants to throw his bat. He's taking a couple of deep breaths at home plate. So Escalona leads Reed Johnson at third. It's 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Rockies will try to rally against one of the game's best closers, Craig Kimbrell, next. Ninth inning. They'll have Kadire, Rosario, and Pacheco to face Craig Kimbrell. Who wants tacos? Fans, when the Rockies score 7 or more, if you'd like to receive text message alerts, text the keyword taco to 720-720. And in those situations, Taco Bell and Root Sports together will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation.
Well, this little fellow, folks, is pretty good. I laid my eyes on him in 2009 when he was in Rome, Georgia, throwing 98 miles an hour. He's carried over right here to the big leagues. National League or Major League save leaders, I should say, with 7, right behind Romo in San Francisco with 8, tied with Betancourt and a few others.
Dyer takes the first pitch down low at 94. Kimbrell, 7 innings, has allowed 2 hits this year, 2 singles, that's it. Kimbrell last year finished 5th in the National League Cy Young voting. The year before, he was the unanimous Rookie of the Year. That's 2-0. Last year he saved 42 of 45, so he's not invincible. He's just really good.
Well, you mentioned the 2 hits given up this year. He's only given up 86 in 168 innings.
On the corner. He was a 3rd-round pick out of Wallace Community College in Alabama. Wallace State. Three and one. Dyer was right on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
A really closed body as he comes to the plate. The high leg kick, hip rotation really helps him stay on line and be very explosive out front off that stiff front leg, but man, it's nasty with a whole lot behind it.
And he gets the strikeout on Kadire. He gets a ton of those. I'll bring up Willeen.
This could end up being a pretty fun matchup. I mean, this is a really good fastball hitter in Rosario against a guy bringing some heat here.
This is amazing, George. In his career, He has struck out 45% of the hitters he's faced. 45%, which all time.
And look at all those other guys. Dibble, Wagner, all very hard throwers. Jensen, very hard thrower.
This is back up the middle, a base hit. So Rosario, with one out, is at first base, the tying run.
Third hit of the year he's given up. Fastball coming at you. Here you go. You want it, you can have it. Excuse me, I'm saying this looked like slider. Stayed right in the middle of the plate. Rosario stayed right on it. Nice job, Molin Rosario. Kind of inside out this ball. He traveled deep back in the backside of that strike zone, and a base hit up the middle.
Pacheco, an RBI single in the second, 1 for 3. Now the outfield is playing no doubles, which is what you do. Up a run in the 9th inning.
Whether you're at Coors Field or anywhere.
The most expansive outfield in baseball. And Rosario, not your ordinary catcher. He's not going to be confused with Eric Young, but he runs pretty well. If you get one in the gap, you never know. 2-0. Nelson on deck. Brignac's got a hat on. And it's 3-0. Two straight hitters, George. Kimbrel's fallen behind 1-2-0, and he ended up coming back and getting to Dyer. He's fallen behind Pacheco 3-0, who will be taking the whole way here. Sell that with a little body language that it was in tight. Scott Barry wasn't buying. It's 3-1. He has late life, which means late movement on his fastball, because there are other guys who throw 95, 96. He just doesn't get hit. Looks like Pacheco is taking on the 3-1 delivery as well. It's 3-2.
5'9", short, quick arm action. So the ball comes out low, stays low, and rides it all the way into the home plate area. I mean, we watched two guys with the Rockies today throwing 95. Scahill and Escalona both were throwing 95 miles an hour. That's not the part that will get you with Kimbrel. He just lives constantly at the bottom of the strike zone with every pitch he throws.
About Kimbrel also, he got to the big leagues quickly. A couple of years in the minor leagues, he moved every year. He was in 4 different places in 2009. Came up for 21 games in 2010, 4-0 with an 0.44 ERA. 3-2 again. Strike 3 on Pacheco.
At 95 and paint on the outside corner on the knees. Pacheco fought one of those pitches off on the previous pitch to keep the at-bat alive. You know, thinking this ball's going to be a little bit low, but centered up pretty well by Gaddis behind the plate. Yeah, it did catch the outside corner.
2 outs. Rosario at first, Chris Nelson. Couple of strikeouts and a deep drive to center field. It was flagged down by Upton. It was slider, and it's 0-1. Again, Reed Brignac's in the on-deck circle in the pitcher spot, which tells you that Todd Helt, as Walt Weiss said earlier, is not going to participate today. Keep resting that forearm that's been bothering him. There goes Pacheco, and the throw to second is going to get him. Rosario tries to steal second, and that's going to end the ball game. Molin cut down by Evan Gaddis. So the Atlanta Braves win the first game of 2, 4-3. Mike Minor got the victory, improves to 3-1. Jeff Francis takes the loss. He's 1-2, and Kimbrel gets his 8th save. Rosario, kind of a sneak attack, trying to swipe second base, is cut down. 14 of the final 15 retired by the combination of Minor, Avalon, O'Flaherty, and Kimbrel. So in a matchup with the best records in baseball, Game 1 goes to the Braves. They improve to 14-5. The Rockies fall to 13-6. Today's Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Delivery. The game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. And in the 4th inning, Evan Gattis, who's becoming a cult hero in Atlanta with his 6th home run of the year, a no-doubter to left, and that was the difference in the ballgame. It was tied at 3 before that swing. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. Here's what we're doing over the next couple of hours. We'll have a postgame for you, and then a pregame in front of the 6:40 first pitch in the nightcap. 4-3 Atlanta. Toyota postgame show is next.